In the last video, we created a section over here on the sidebar where we listed college transcript and employee letter of recommendation. Right now though, this is just text and we want to actually link to the actual documents. Now we're going to do this on the sidebar, but you can do the same thing out here in the main content of your site as well. So for example, if I scroll down to the education area where I have my school listed, I could put a link in right underneath this for college transcripts. So then if someone clicked on this, they can go and see my college transcript. It's a good way to share additional information about yourself for employees that are interested in seeing it. To get started uploading files, come back to your cPanel for your JustHost account. Again, if you forgot how to get here, go back to that first email that JustHost sent you that you either printed out or wrote down. It'll have a link to get here as well as your username and password. Once you've logged in, go ahead and scroll down and you want to find the file manager. In a previous video we had to come here to delete some files. This time we're going to add some files to your site. So go ahead and click file manager and then go. That'll take you to this page, and this is the root directory for your website. So this is where we want to add the files because they will be the easiest to find here. So at the top menu, go to the upload button and then hit browse to find the file. Go ahead and find where the file is located at on your computer, hit open, and then it'll upload that first file. Now we want to upload any other files. I have two in this example, so I'm going to hit browse. I'm going to hit the other file and I'm going to upload that one as well. So those files are all uploaded, so I'm going to go back to my site and see if I can access them real quickly. These are the addresses for the files I just uploaded. It's going to be at the name of your site / the name of the file. And that's because I uploaded it to my main root directory here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and copy that, come back to my site, and up in the address bar of my internet browser, I'm going to go ahead and type in that address that I just showed on the screen and copied, and it's going to go to that file. And just to make sure it works, I'm going to go ahead and try this other file as well. So go ahead and copy that, enter that in the address bar, and I can see that my transcript file works as well. But now I have to get this text to link to those documents. To do that, I'm going to go back to the dashboard and then go to widgets so you can edit them. On the right hand side, I have the text widget. I'm going to drop down this menu so I can see what's in here. And here is the text that I entered before. But now I need to turn them into links. To do that, I have to add HTML code, which is the language that tells browsers how to make the text on a site appear. Below this video, I'll include a link to a website that'll have more information on HTML and other types of coding you can do to your website to change how it's formatted. In this video, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. To understand what HTML code looks like real quickly, go ahead and go to one of your pages. I'm going to open up the resume, and you can see right here there are two tabs. One is visual and one is HTML. Visual is what your site is actually going to look like, and the HTML tab shows you the code that dictates what's going to show up on the visual tab. One thing you'll notice a lot of are these little brackets, and I'll show you what those mean. Here is an example of a bold tag. I can see I have text right here, and on both sides of it I have a tag. One tag starts the coding and another tag ends it. So in this case I have brackets, and these are located by the shift key on your keyboard. I have a B in the middle, which stands for bold, and then I have an in bracket which has a /B, and what this would do is any text that's in between these two tags would be bold on my site. To create a link, you use an anchor tag, which I have an example of right here. You can see that I have the first half of this. Inside this tag I have an A for anchor, and at the end of my tag I have an end A, so the end's the anchor. In between the two tags I have the text, which is going to show up as the link on my site. Also in this anchor tag I have to point to the file that the link is going to link to. In this case the coding is href equals, and then in quotation marks you put the address of the file. If I go back to this page, you can see that this address is the same one that I have here. Now there's one more piece of code that I want to add in here. On the second line here I have an example of code that says target equals, and then in quotation marks _blank. What this is going to do is that when someone clicks on my link, it's going to open the file in a new window. Otherwise, what would happen is someone's going to click on the link and it's going to open in the same window. But that means in order to get back to your site, they have to go to the back button. This way, your transcript or your file will open in a new window, and they just have to go back to the other window to get back to your resume, which I think is easier for them. Ultimately, you want to make sure they can get back to your website so that they don't get lost online. So I'm going to take this text, go back to my widgets, enter it in here, hit save. Now you won't be able to copy it from that file I just had, so you'll just have to type in this line of code yourself for your own site. And of course you want to put in your own domain name here, and then if you had a different name for your file, you're going to type that in here as well. But then you can hit save, hit refresh, and then I can click on the link and it'll open the file in a new window. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a link to the other file as well. Go back here and you can see I'm just going to go ahead and type this in. Ahref equals parentheses http://www-tobyreese.com/recommendation.pdf in parentheses, and then I'm going to do target equals _ blank in that tag, and then I'm going to put the name of the link I want, which is going to be letter of recommendation, and then I have to close the A tag. Go ahead and hit save, and then I can go see what that looks like on my site. Hit refresh, and now I have this other file here as well, which I can click on, and it'll open my letter in a new window. One thing you might have noticed here is that when I have these two links, they're putting them both on the same line. If I want to split those up, there's a line of code that I need to put in there for that, because it considers all of this text as one paragraph. So go back here to my widget, I'm going to space this out, and I'm going to add a tag called BR. So I just need the brackets with BR in the middle, and that stands for break. So that's going to create a break in the paragraph between my first link and the second link. So save that, refresh, and now these are on different lines, which is how you wanted them to look in the first place. In the text widget, you have to type in the HTML code yourself. If I go back to my web page and I want to add a link inside the content of one of my pages, like the resume page, there is a shortcut way of adding a link. To do that, go ahead and open your pages, click on your resume, and I'm going to add a link to my transcript under the education section. So go ahead and scroll down to education. Underneath the last line here, I'm going to add transcript, and then to create a link to that, I can go ahead and highlight that word, and up here on the toolbar there's a button for insert edit link. Looks like a chain. Click that, and it's going to ask me the link URL or the address of the file I want to link to. So I can go ahead and type that in. Mine was at www.tobyreese.com/transcript.pdf. Under target, I'm going to go ahead and click on open link in a new window and then hit insert, and you can see here that it's added a link to this section. I'm going to go ahead and hit update, go back to my site, go to the resume page, and if I scroll down to the education section, I can see here that there's a link to this transcript. One thing here is that this link doesn't really stand out. I can go back to my edit page, I can scroll down to where that link was at. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that text, I'm going to hit bold, and I'm also going to add click here for transcript. Hit update, go back to my page and hit refresh. And now that I can see, it says click here for transcript under the education section. On this page, it doesn't stand out very well. On a different theme, this might be a different color like red, where it'll stand out more to employers, so they'll be more inclined to click here. One more thing to note here, if you're having trouble getting HTML to work under your widget, you can create a link on your resume, go to the HTML tab on the editor, find where that link was at, and you can highlight this HTML, hit copy, go to your widget, and paste that text into here. Hit save, update, and under resources here, now I have the text that says click here for transcript. That's another way to get HTML into your widget without having to do the coding yourself. So again, in this video, we learned upload those files that you want to add to your resume webpage, and then either in a sidebar or in the content of one of your pages, include a link to that document.